there's your cube, like that, okay? So the cube means that all the side lengths are the same. That's the definition of a cube. All sides the same, okay? Now, from maybe just a previous course or just in life, how many faces do you see on the cube?
How many faces?
Faces, yeah, face. Like this is a face.
3?
That's a okay. You can see
Like
three, but how many are there? Like if you hold up
the 6?
6, yes. So the surface area is the area of a face. 5 times 5. There's 6 of them. So what's the area of one face? What's the area of the square there?
30?
How did you come up with 30? And the reason I ask is that's because that can help. It helps me to figure out where you went wrong because I don't know how you came up with 30. I can sort of guess, but that doesn't help as
Isn't it
much
the
as you
sides
saying.
multiplied?
Say that again.
Isn't it the sides multiplied?
Yes, but they're both 5. Now maybe the
Oh,
bottom one looked like a 6. I don't know.
I thought that was a 6. Never mind.
Okay,
So 5.
there you go. That's why I'm
So
asking because
25.
so 25. But there are 6 of them. So what is 6 times 25?
6 times 25. 150.
150. There's your answer. Okay. Now see how 25 is there though? You gotta be really careful. And 5 plus 5 plus 5, 15. Like they're all there because they're all like numbers that you could, miss. Any questions on that before we move on to something else?
So it's just like you would find the area, but then you would multiply that area by how many faces there are. So like how many
Yeah,
sides
especially if
altogether?
they're all the same,
Okay.
which in this case they are. All right, so let's look at question 2. What is the surface area in square centimeters of a cylinder? Cylinder here with a height of 10 and a radius of 6. Okay, so to do this one, you do have to know the formula for the surface area of a cylinder. I don't know how to tell you. I don't know if you should remember this. Sorry, it's 2 pi r squared plus 2 pi RH. So this is a known formula, and I don't know if you would get that. Do you know if you get formulas on the test?
Um, I mean, I got in the book I have like a list of the um formulas, but I don't know what any of the letters stand for.
Okay, well, so the surface area is SA is surface area, R is the radius, and H is the height. So pi, we've talked about pi before. Pi is it's a number, but sometimes you just leave it as pi.
And pi is 3.14.
Yeah, but notice all the answers. All the answers have a pi, or all the answers have a pi in them. So you actually hold off on, like you the pi goes with it. So it's 2 pi. The radius is 6 squared. 2 pi, the radius is 6, and the height is 10. So you just sort of ignore the pi. So like you literally like don't imagine there's no pi. like that.
I'm confused.
We'll just ignore the pi. That's all you gotta do. Like, pretend like it's not there. So could you simplify this for us? 6 squared, then multiply by 2, 2 times 6 times 10.
It's like 24 plus some plus
Or you gotta square the 6 first, order of operations, square before you multiply.
yeah, this is 6 times 6. I was doing 6 times 2. Times 2. 72 plus 120.
Okay, and what does that become?
192.
192. And so you ignore the pi until the end and you put the pi back in.
So BC.
Let's see, yeah. All right, so let's look at 3, which is really similar to this. They just give you slightly different information. It's okay that there's a little bit of confusion in this. Again, it says, what is the surface area of a cylinder that measures 8 centimeters tall? So that's the height. But this time they give you the diameter. See how they say the diameter is 6?
Mhm.
Our formula for surface area does not have diameter. It has what instead?
Radius.
Radius. So how do you get the radius from the diameter?
Oh. Mm. Would you cut it in half?
Yes. So what is the
So it'd be
radius?
3.
Good. So it's the same thing as the last problem. So in the last problem, we had the radius, we had the height, we put those numbers in here in the formula, we ignored the pi, and then we put the pi back in at the end. So what I'm suggesting here is that you put 3 in for R, 8 in for 8, ignore the pi, and put it in at the end.
Is the answer C?
Let's take a look here. So it's 2 pi, radius is 3 squared plus 2 pi. 3 times 8. So again, if we ignore the pi, it's 2 times 3 squared plus 2 times 3 times 8. 3 squared is 9, times 2 is 18. 2 times 3 times 8 is 48, which is 66. Add in the pi. And yes, the answer is C. Very, very good. Really good. So like this section, the general geometry practice questions that you sent over, they are all surface area. And I want to see if I can find volume questions, because these are not gonna be all that helpful, or just maybe just area problems.
Did I already send over all the area problems for my book?
Well, yeah, I mean, I just think we're spending too much time on surface area. Like surface area is a very specific thing here. Let me give you a few more problems on my own here to find. So stuff that's gonna be more consistent with what I think you might see here. So um let's just do another cube real quick. Okay, so let's say a cube has a side length of 4 meters. Okay, so again, what that means is each side is 4. Okay, so the surface area, if you recall, you have to find the area of the face, one of the faces, and then multiply it by the number of faces that you see. So what is the area of one of these faces?
Mm, 16?
16. And then how many of those faces are there?
6?
6. So
So it'd be
6 times
96.
16,
96 would be
96 meters
34.
squared. Good. Good. Okay. Now where this gets a little bit more difficult is if the faces aren't the same, but we're going to ignore that for now. Okay. We're going to ignore that possibility for now. So let's have you do a cylinder here. So the volume of a cylinder is 2 pi r squared plus 2 pi r8. And so what you should be asking yourself here is, do you know the radius and do you know the height? And if you do, could you tell me those values?
The radius would be 10 because it'd be half
Okay,
of the diameter, and
okay, good.
then the height is 13.
13, good. Okay. So from here, why don't you put those numbers into the formula here? And again, you can just leave the pi out until the end.
Mm. What would it be? 460 before adding the
460
pi back in?
pi, like that.
Yeah.
So it's 2 times pi times 10 squared, that's 200 pi. And then 2 times pi times 10 times 13, which is 260 pi. So yes, that is correct. Good, good. All right. Like I said, I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's so many. I guess we can try one more of these. I don't know. I feel like we're going to open up a confusing math here. Yeah. All right, let's try one problem. If it becomes an issue, we'll move to something else. Okay. All right. So a classroom is 40 feet long and 25 feet wide. So like I take that to mean it's like, and actually this is not a good place to put this. It's 40 feet long and then 25 feet wide. Do you agree with kind of my drawing here? 40 feet
Mm-hmm.
long and 25 feet wide. Okay. So that means that and then there's also the height. So it also says here it's 12, the height is 12 feet. So that's 12 feet and that's 12 feet. Okay. So if you like imagine you're standing in the classroom, right? You can look and you see the front wall, the back wall, side wall, and the side wall. Like, can you visualize like standing in something like that and seeing all those walls?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. So it says four walls. So there's the front and the back, and the front and the back are 40 by 12. Like this, like not to scale, but it's this one here, the 40 by this 12. Like this 40 from the front, 12 height. Is that okay?
Yeah.
And then the sidewalls are this 25 by 12. So the sides, you can think of it as the left and the right. It's 25 and 12. So what is the area of the front wall? Would you calculate that for us, please?
So 40, 480.
480. But since there's two of them, right? 2 times 480 is 960.
So then for the sides, it would be 25 times 12, and then that times 2, since there's also 2 of them. So it'd be 600 for both of the sides.
Yeah, so 25 times 12 is 300. Like you said, there's two of them. 600. So how much is their total?
Like just adding the area together.
Yes.
So 960 plus 600. 1,560.
If we go back and look, is that one of the answers?
Yeah. B.
Yep. There you go. Okay, now the next question, I've got to redraw the building. So let me grab the next question. And so there's this test taking strategy where you read the last sentence first. Because everything else is actually not important, but 40, 25, and 12 Do you remember the formula for volume of something like this?
Volume of
A
a
box?
cube?
Well, it's not a cube. A cube, all the
Oh,
sides would be the same, but in this case, the
um,
sides are different.
what was what was,
So the formula for volume is length times width times height.
oh, okay. Oop. So length times width times height, so the volume would be 12,000? Would it be C?
Got it. You got it. Yep. You got it. So it's 40 times 25 times 12, which is 12,000. Okay.
Is that pretty much most of what the surface area stuff is?
Well, I don't want to get so deep into the surface area. Like it's
Yeah, because I
the
don't think it's going to be too much of the test.
no,
I
I
think
mean
algebra is going to be the most of the test.
yeah. So let's talk about some sequences. Okay. I'm gonna put a couple of sequences up in front of you. We'll start from the easy stuff. So sequence is numbers. A sequence is numbers separated by a comma. So 9, comma 14, comma 19, comma 24. So what I call it something different than the book, but I think of it as a jump each time. So what is the jump to go from 9 to 14?
Um, so it'd be a jump by 5
Now, is that the same
or
jump to
no?
go from 14 to 19?
Um, yeah,
Yes. And then is it the same jump to go from 19 to 24?
I think so.
You got to have more faith. So the way to figure out the jump is to take like 14 minus 9, which is 5, 19 minus 14, which is 5, and 24 minus 19, which is 5. Are these all
Okay.
the same?
Yeah.
Yes. So this is arithmetic, but you don't need to know that. You just need to know that this is you need to know that the jump, or what's called D is the jump, is 5. You're going up by 5 each time.
And that's the pattern.
Yes, like what is the pattern? That's another way to sort of view it. Okay, let's try another one here. So really that is kind of the question, is what is the pattern? If you want to put it in sort of a, test taking thing here.
Is it 4?
Is 4. Now it is uh it is sometimes they go up, sometimes they go, and you should be prepared for both. Okay. So here's a sequence that obviously goes down.
So 3? Is it like -3?
Yeah, so that's very important because you can't just say down 3. You have to say it's going up by -3. All right, good. Now, sometimes you can get into a sign issue with these, and this is a good example of that type of problem. Because sometimes, like, you look at something like this, you're like, oh, all the numbers are negative, it must be going down. But is that really the case? Is it really the case that the numbers are going down? No, these are actually getting larger. Okay, maybe you can't see that or you don't believe it, but if you look
Because
at like where these are
they're
on a
going the
number
other way
line,
on the number line. Yeah. They're going
exactly,
to
they're
the
going
right.
to the right. That's how you know. So that's where you've got to be able to take the next term and subtract the previous. So like -33 minus a -37, especially if you're not sure, you know, what to do here. But if you always do it this way, next minus previous, you will get the right difference. So could you tell me what that is or what it's going up by?
Or
Yes. Very good. All right, so let me put a couple in front of you to see, just to have you try now. And keep in mind here that when it says 3 and 4, those are the problem numbers. I'm actually just going to cross those out because they can be sort of distracting here.
is the first one going up by -30?
Okay, that is correct.
And the second one is going up by -10.
Yes. Good. Let me see if I can throw one more in front of you. Yeah, here's another one. Okay.
Is that a -1 in the beginning?
It is a negative one, yeah.
Going up by -100?
You don't worry about saying up or down, just give me the difference. And again, you don't have to use the first two. You can use the second or the third,
Okay.
like those numbers. But it's always the next minus the previous.
So 100?
Yes. All right, let me see if I can find a couple more here. This isn't really math, it's more like pattern recognition, but it's important that you can do this. So let's try a new style of problem here. So first thing is to figure out the pattern. You know, what is the pattern?
-. 6.
I,
Or down
let me
by
know when
6.
you got your final answer. I don't want to jump in until you.
Oh, -7.
-7. So now, what is the next term? What is the next term after 4?
-3.
Okay. And what's the next one after -3?
-10.
Okay. Give me one more term.
-17.
-17. Good. Okay. So that kind of leads into the next question here. So let me throw another sequence in front of you. Okay, so the first numbers is the first term, the second, the third, and so on. Okay. So if the problem asks you like, what is the 7th term? Okay, what they're asking you to do is to write out the 5th, the 6th, and the 7th. And to do that, you need to figure out what the pattern is. I think we already did this one, but you can tell me one more time. What is the pattern here?
-37 -20. -9.
-9. So now you've got to write out a few more terms. So I want you to write out 3 more terms and then tell me the 7th term.
So 3 more. Mm. Mm. -9. -55. And -64. Is it -73? Or is there one more? Is it the one after that?
Well, that's where you got to write it out. That's the 5th. -64 is the 6th.
So
-73 is the,
-73 is the 7th? Okay.
yes. So you got to count like, because if it were a test, I mean, all of these would be on there. They're
Yeah.
all possible. So here is another one for you to look at. Let's go. What is the 10th term?
So 2 is the pattern?
Yes.
Is +2?
Yes.
-1. I said it was 2, right? Okay. So 3. Is it 11?
It is 11. Good. All right. Now you might be wondering, well, how is it that Matthew knew the answer to that? Well, there's a way to write the formula for these. Okay, so let me show you that now. So sometimes they give you the formula. All right, so this one says the nth term, that's what a sub n means. It means the nth term is minus 11 plus 7. So let's say you want the first term. And I notice I'm writing out it as this way, not like a sub 1. It's minus 11 plus 7 times 1.
Okay.
Okay, so what is minus 11 plus 7 times 1?
-4.
-4. The second term is minus 11 plus 7 times 2. So what is the difference between the first term and the second term? Well, it's you're putting 1 in for n and then 2 in for n.
And you would put in the number of whatever term you were trying to find in n.
That's right. So what is this one here? What does this become?
-8.
Try again.
Oh, no, wait, because that's just, let's see, negative. Three,
3. Now, what's the jump from minus 7 to 3?
7,
7. So -11 plus 7 times 3. Well, go ahead and work this out, but you shouldn't be surprised because it'll have the same jump as this one.
10.
10, yeah. But truthfully, I mean, that's not how the question will be worded. So let me show you the full question here. It will give you the formula and then want you to find, for example, the 34th term. So guess where you put 34?
In the n,
In the end. So this
so it
is
would be times 7
minus,
times 34.
yeah, and you would definitely have a calculator. So please, please grab your calculator for this one.
227.
That sounds right to me. Good. Okay, so here, actually, I do got the answers. Let me make sure I'm actually giving you the answers. There we go. That is correct. All right, here's another one for you to try. Go ahead and try that for me, please.
Is it -3,835?
Yes, it is. All right, let's have you do. So here's another one you might see. You will have a calculator, I think. So this won't be that bad, but they can throw in decimals, even fractions.
Negative 49.6.
I got a different result here. So it's minus 7.1,
Oh, I didn't see
minus
the negative on the 7.1, that's why.
Okay.
Let's put it in again with the negative. Negative 63.8.
yes. Very good. Okay.
How would
Just
you go
trying to
about
find
doing there are fractions in it?
same thing. You just do the same multiplication and you have a calculator, so you'll probably be able to do it. Okay, here is a problem. It's kind of like what we were doing earlier. But let me throw this in front of you and see what you think here. I don't want to throw in any weird stuff. We're getting close to the end here anyway. So let's say I wanted to know the 24th term. Okay, and actually, let me do this backward. Let's say I wanted the 31st term. Okay. We know the 28th term is 75. What is the 29th term? What is it going up by?
Um, 4? Is that what it is?
Okay, so what would the next one be?
Um, 80?
Try again.
No, 79?
79. How about the next one?
83?
Okay. Are we there? Is that the 31st term?
No, it's the next one.
Okay, what's the next one?
37? Or 87?
Okay, good. Now, so we know that the 31st term is 87. Now, what if, this is the harder direction to go. What if I also wanted the 26th term?
So I'd have to just keep subtracting.
You have to go the other direction now, yeah, which is a little bit weird, but it is doable.
So the 27th would be 71, right?
Okay,
And then the 26th would be 67.
there you go. Good. All right, so let's try one more. Let's say the 15th term is negative 83 and the difference is 2. I want you to first find the 19th term for me, please. So I would recommend writing out the sequence.
And that's the 15th number would be 83, so it'd be 4 up from that.
Are you giving me your answer or are you just sort of talking it out loud?
Oh, yeah, I was just asking. So it would that's a 15, right? That's the
That's a
15th
15, yeah.
number. Okay.
15, so we want to get up to 19.
Plus 2. Would it be negative 75?
So negative 83, negative 81, negative 79, negative 77. So that's 15, 16, 17, 18, negative 75 is 19. Good. So now how about a sub 13? What would that be? A sub 13, the 13th term.
Mm. So negative 18 minus 2, negative 85. Negative 87.
Very good. All right, we're gonna go ahead and stop here for today.